KCA students, welcome to week 7 of grammar. This is actually going to be our last lesson video for the unit because next week you're going to be studying for your test, and you do have a study guide that you can fill out that will be really helpful and help you prepare for your test. So this lesson we're going to be learning about prepositions and prepositional phrases. It's going to be a really interesting one, so get out your papers and your pencils and let's begin. A preposition is a word or phrase that indicates location or some other relationship between a noun or pronoun and other parts of the sentence. So some examples of prepositions would be in, near, beside, on top of, that indicate location, or about, after, besides, instead of, in accordance with. These prepositions might be easier to notice if you go and look at a list of prepositions and review them so that you can be familiar with some of them. A prepositional phrase is a phrase that includes a preposition, its object, and any modifiers of the object. So an example of a prepositional phrase would be, the squirrel jumped onto the tree. The prepositional phrase here would be onto the tree. It includes the preposition, which is onto, and the object of the preposition, which is tree. And here is the definition of an object of the preposition. It's a noun, noun phrase, or pronoun that follows a preposition and completes its meaning. So if the sentence is, Wendy threw the ball to the door. To the door would be the prepositional phrase. To would be the preposition, and door would be the object of the preposition. So we label this as P or prep, and we label door as OP, and then D is just a modifier as normal, so you label that as article adjective. So our instructions for the lesson are label the words in the sentence structure, and the sentence purpose. Diagram the sentence. So we're going to start by finding the verb. The action completed here is drove. Is this transferring any action? No, it is not. So you know it's a verb intransitive. Who drove? She drove. So it's a subject pronoun. How did she drive? She drove quickly. So this is a modifier, and it's an adverb because it's modifying the verb drove. And here's our prepositional phrase, around the block. So around is going to be our preposition. It's indicating the location. Block is going to be our object of the preposition. This is the noun that follows the preposition and completes its meaning. Now, V is going to be just a regular article adjective. So this is how we're going to diagram it. Begin as normal. She drove. How did she drive? Quickly. Now this is how you're going to diagram the prepositional phrase. It's going to be like this, like an L. Around, the preposition goes on the first line, and the object of the preposition goes on the second line. Around, block. Which block? The block. The is modifying block, so it goes right there. Okay, and the prepositional phrase line goes underneath drove because it's pointing out where she drove. It's modifying the word drove. We know this is a simple sentence. We know that it's a declarative sentence. Our next sentence says, Mrs. Stevens taught biology to the students. So our verb here is going to be taught. Is it transferring any action? It is. What did she teach? She taught biology. So we know it's a verb transitive with a direct object. Who taught? Miss Stevens. So that's going to be our subject noun. Our prepositional phrase here is to these students. To is going to be our preposition. Students is going to be our object of the preposition. The is going to be an article adjective. So let's diagram it. Miss Stevens taught. What did she teach? Biology. Now our prepositional phrase is going to be found under taught because it's acting as a modification to the word taught. Who did she teach? The students. Miss Stevens taught biology to the students. So our next sentence says, she placed a basket on a table by the window. The action here is placed. Is it transferring any action? Yes. She placed what? Basket. Who placed? She placed. So she is going to be our subject pronoun. A is going to be, of course, an article adjective. Now here we have two prepositional phrases, on a table and by the window. So on is going to be our first preposition, so table would be our next object, and then article adjective. By the window, by is going to be our next preposition, window, object of the preposition, and the is going to be an article adjective. She placed basket. We're going to do this one in the same way. First of all, it's going to be a basket because a is modifying the word basket. Now this prepositional phrase is modifying placed. How did she place? Where did she place? On a table. On table, a table. Now the second prepositional phrase is actually modifying table. It's indicating where the table was, by the window. So since this is modifying table, it's actually going to go underneath here. Preposition, by, and the object of the preposition, window. Now the is modifying window, and we know that's an article adjective, so it goes below window. So the sentence structure of the sentence is going to be simple. And what's the purpose? It's to make a statement or declaration, so declarative. So that wraps up our study of prepositions and prepositional phrases. And again, it might be helpful for you guys to study and look over a list of prepositions just so you can get a review and a hint of exactly what you're looking for when you're labeling your prepositions within a sentence. And I know you guys are going to have a great week. See you next time.